A giant dog stood perfectly still, imposing and silently watching everything around him. Whenever Shadow appeared, people stopped in their tracks. One look at his massive frame and steady stare was enough to make them assume he was dangerous. But what happened next proved them completely wrong. At first, Shadow looked unreal, like something from a movie scene instead of a living dog. His size alone told a story people thought they already knew. But that story always changed. All it took was a moment, a closer look, a gentle touch on his nose. The tension melted away, fear turned into laughter. Again and again, people said the same thing, with a smile. They thought he would eat them, but he only wanted love.
Darling baby! Oh my goodness, hello! Gorgeous boy! You are so gorgeous!
I'm going to recognise you because of the smoke.
Shadow was a gentle giant in the truest sense. Without trying, he turned strangers into storytellers. Short videos of him began spreading online. Clips of his enormous head slowly rising behind a fence startled passers-by, then made them laugh. Phones came out, smiles followed. But one video stood apart. In it, Shadow walked calmly through a supermarket. No barking, no pulling, no chaos. He moved quietly, respectfully, like he belonged there. Some people questioned it. Why was a dog that big inside a store? The answer was simple. Shadow was a service dog.
What's his name?
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
You are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, you are.
That video was not meant to shock, it was meant to explain. It answered the judgment Shadow faced each day simply because of his size. People often assume danger before kindness, but Shadow did not need training to be gentle. That was who he had always been, calm, curious, and endlessly patient. At home, he was pure comfort. He sprawled across the couch, belly up, paws in the air. Wherever his person went, Shadow followed closely, like a silent guardian whose only wish was to stay near.
Hi, Shadow. Such a cute dog. How are you doing today?
Now nearly 2 years old, Shadow was recognized on the street. When a stranger first called his name, it changed everything. Without speaking a word, Shadow was leaving a mark on the world. And that was his greatest lesson. Gentleness is not measured by size. Sometimes the biggest presence carries the softest heart.
Look at his neck. How cool is that? He's got a chain on.
Neighbors once crossed the street when they saw him coming. Then they noticed the slow wag of his tail and the careful way he waited for every hand to reach him first. Soon they bent down to greet him, and many laughed at their own fear.
So well behaved.
He is, yeah.
Saw you earlier in shop.
Too.
Children who once hid behind carts later asked if they could pet him. He stood still like a statue, patient as they touched his ears and giant paws. Their parents relaxed, and the whole aisle felt warmer because of him standing there.
Yeah, he's friendly, really friendly.
He loves it, he's bad.
Even on tired days, he rested his head on a knee and seemed to say everything would be fine. That quiet comfort reached hearts faster than words ever could for those nearby, watching him breathe softly. And neighbors smiled whenever he passed by each morning with steady steps and calm, bright eyes nearby daily. If his story lifts someone today, they should remember this. Meet animals with patience and respect. Learn their needs before bringing one home. Please like, share, and subscribe for more gentle stories that spread hope and kindness to others everywhere, always. Now, soon, here today.
Das Wall ist
So how old is he?
2. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, he's a star.
At KindPaws, each story begins with our team's heart. We choose only real and meaningful moments, always from respected sources. With thoughtful editing, music, and images, we work to make each story meaningful and alive. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to the next story together.